reminding me. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the love doctor or dot doctor. It's no more medical doctor. It's a love doctor. Yo. Doc, you know what? So I saw the video, your show on Joy Prime.
Okay.
Right. Where you were talking, in fact, you actually mentioned it last week over here, that being in love makes you sleep better.
Sharp.
So me, I'm thinking, yesterday was the day of love. You understand? So people show love, and things like that.
Yeah.
So this afternoon, I asked my wonderful, ardent listeners. Since yesterday was the day of love, it means that maybe they slept well.
Dog, be late for work.
Dog, they didn't sleep.
Hey!
Me, I went to ask. I was like, I'm sure today you all slept well. No, Lexis, forget it. I don't know. That's why I don't.
Tomorrow should
Look, today they've been sleeping at work. People are dozing off. Work.
Yeah. That's a delayed effect. The delayed effect when the thing is very intense. When it's very intense.
So what could it be? Why were they up, Doc?
It was a prolonged act.
Act? What act?
There's a delayed reaction. Blue eye.
Hey, Doc. I say, so I'm sure you slept well because you're in love. Lexis, forget it. And Ryan. They said, and then you better watch
Wow.
Anyway, good to have you, Doc. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. There's love in the air.
Yeah.
And 14th February, I always remember this very good friend of mine. I'm not at liberty to mention his name today, because now he's a big man. He's a respected man.
Why? What happened?
He's a man of the cloth. So it means we body deep. But I know
he knows himself.
Everybody knows. Those who know, they know.
Okay.
You know where Presec. I don't understand when you are in school, boys' school.
That's right.
Everybody from January they start getting ready. So it's either you are going to go. We used to call it clef hanging.
That's right.
So if you are going clef hanging, it means every girls.
That's right.
Or that you go to Mary's. So password there they are far agis. So that's the order of this. So Charlie, those times then Kakani jeans, white. What to so? One starch, which is so white. And then he got ready. Bought all the things that he needs to buy. At that time, teddy bear was the Charlie.
If you bought a teddy bear, Charlie, you're on top.
That's it. The bigger, the better. So you don't earn the salary. You don't have a job. You take your chubana, a teachubu. You go and tell your mother that you are buying some pamphlet.
Sure.
Sure. The alcohol. Or you need no the teddy bear no call Mary's. I mean, boy, yes, person has a visitor.
Hey, has a visitor. Wow,
throughout the entire period.
And a bear cry teddy bear,
not teddy bear.
A waiting area air train.
A chair.
Train,
no, the teddy bear the back to present. I tell Kusiaga.
He don't cast, last. Now everybody go to breakfast.
So for me, teddy bear and Valentine, and that's that happened on the 14th to our friend.
But Doc, it actually happened yesterday.
The same thing.
Hey, you see, the flowers, there were sizes. So this brother also thought that only the Lego. Lego, yeah. So he bought flowers and I think some bottle of wine or something like that.
I said Lego there rank and the cost
Odu hall name no. Then he met her coming out of the hall.
And they said no.
So So, you're happy, baby. Also, oh, honey, please give me a second. Then the lady goes to a car that was just parked by, and gentleman comes out and starts bringing out boxes. You know what's the worst part? She called the guy and said, oh, see, can you help me take it upstairs? Oh, Charlie.
I am trying to say anyway.
Oh, Charlie. Guy, you know, say, oh, my boxes, provisions, there. Oh.
Hey, man, we are suffering.
It's a very sad thing.
But I think that's what makes you a man to pass through this experience.
At
that time, I didn't have the view.
No.
Supporting cast. Right. So, last week we started having a conversation about love, and try to answer the question: does love have beneficial effects?
Yeah.
And after the show, and also after the program on Joy Prime, I've had loads and loads of questions. I'm sure your inbox too has been filled with a lot of questions.
Absolutely.
And people are asking whether these things are real. And some people too are sharing very, very great experiences about it. So today I felt that, okay, why don't we just open the phone lines, take a lot of questions, text messages. People can share their experiences, about love. But there is no question that love has some very, very important or beneficial effects on our health.
Absolutely.
And just by way of recap, just quickly let me just recap before you throw in some of the questions that you have. I did mention that you sleep better when you are in love. That sense of security, the anxiety, things that keep you awake at night. Somebody once told me that if you are busy loving another person, then your ears you are deaf to all that is going on around you, and therefore the sense of security and comfort allows you to sleep well. So sleep is better, depression is less, stress is reduced, anxiety is greatly minimized. And then also we talked about the euphoria, that sense of happiness, the what do you call it, the endorphins that come from parts of the brain, the release of another hormone we call dopamine, that also helps all of us to feel very, very happy.
That's from the amygdala, isn't it?
The amygdala is that emotional center. That's the center of emotional interaction and emotional behavior, and love is an emotion, so yes, when we say love with your head, it is true to a large extent. From last week I've even been reading some papers that talk about even your skin, how improved your skin becomes because of love, and all of that. So the beneficial effects of love, plenty.
Absolutely.
So, Kwame, let's take some questions.
If you have any questions, we would want you to send us a WhatsApp message on 055-111-997, or you can call us on 0302-216-541. Today, we want it to be an open clinic where you can ask any question at all, and the doctor will respond to that, especially questions relating to our conversations about love and health and, being in love. And this particular question really stood out for me. I eat a lot anytime I feel loved or pampered by my partner. Is it right? And I was thinking, wow.
Right. So it's the question whether is it right may not be the question they want to ask. They want to know whether or not it is normal for that to happen. And the answer is yes. It's
normal?
Exactly. Because your brain has what we call a reward center, all right, that rewards and reinforces some of the anything that we like, okay, and that center gets you to do a lot of things. So, for example, those who exercise, when you exercise, you get some kind of excitement. It's a kind of a reward. You get the release of dopamine coming into your system. It's that same center that is triggered when you engage in other enjoyable things. For example, eating. Some people really enjoy food. Others just eat because they are hungry and then they want to eat. So eating is a happy experience for a lot of people. Sex, which is an act of love, or can be an act of love, is also going to the same brain reward center. And therefore, it is not surprising that when that emotion kicks in and you get a release of a lot of these happy hormones, then you tend to engage in other things as well that make you very, very happy. So, for example, people sing. When they are deeply in love, you would find them, singing, smiling, eating. So it is not surprising because all those things are happy acts that come from the same brain reward center.
But that can't have a, should I say, a happy ending if you're eating a little too much.
Right. So then you are right that if you're not careful and you overdo it, then you are just piling on. And these things are, most of the time, I'm sure it's not fufu that she's eating. I'm sure it's the sweet things.
Yeah.
The calorie dense food items. So it may be chocolates. They may be binging on ice creams, buckets of ice creams.
Right.
Candies. Many different things. These are high energy, foods.
Let me get on the phone line now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
My name is Kwame.
All right, Kwame, let's hear you.
I wanted to know if you are allowed to drink cold water in the morning.
Okay. All right, because Kwame, when I heard that voice, I was like, hey, now, Kwame, are you too young for love?
I know.
It sounded pre-pubertal.
But it's a very valid question as well.
Right, valid question. So it's about water. The point I'll make about water is that 60% of your total body weight is made of, it's contributed by water. So we are water. So water is very good for the body. The temperature at which you drink water, I don't think there's good scientific proof about what particular temperature. Our core body temperature is about 37 degrees. All right. So anytime you take in even cold water, it's going to warm up. Your body's just going to warm it up. So really neither here nor there. If you want to take water out of a fridge and drink it. I mean, in winter time, in other parts of the world, the water is pretty cold, and then they drink it. So I don't think there's really an issue about drinking cold water.
Okay, let's see who's here. Hello.
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 Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Well, I was expecting to give me some hamper yesterday, but nothing of that sort.
Okay. Let's hear your question, man.
This is John Joseph from tonight, man.
Yes, Joseph. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to know the causes of somebody falling in love with somebody, and immediately you hear his or her name, or you see him or her, then your heart starts beating. And sometimes you think about somebody, then you are growing lame because maybe the person is, doing something to hurt you. What causes that? And thirdly, can somebody fall in love with somebody who just starts and talk to the person, exchange pictures, and the person is far away, Ashanti region, you are in a greater Accra, you talk to each other, like you do everything on phone. Though you haven't met before, but the person is saying that I'm falling in love with you because of talking to you, the way you talk to me. I can see you have the foresight. Right. Your ambitions are great. I want to hear something about it. Is it rare?
Right. So,
before you answer that, right. I think Stephen from Impress also just sent in a message that's similar.
Okay.
He says, Lexis, I just wanted to know why I have this unusual heartbeat anytime I want to talk to a lady.
Right. Good. So, Kwame, that's one of the reasons why we associate the heart of all the organs with feelings of love. Now, what they are all referring to is something we call euphoria. All right. So that giddy, euphoric excitement you feel when you're spending time with somebody that you love, or that you have great affection for, or you even think about that person, or you see an image of that person, your brain goes to work. And it is all attributable to a hormone we call dopamine. So we interact with in this world with all our senses. So you don't necessarily need to be in the presence of the person to love the person with this particular emotion. You just need to think about the person. You need to think about that object of your affection, and then your brain triggers the release of a hormone called dopamine. And then your brain's reward system relies on this important chemical called dopamine. So when you actually think about that person in Kumasi, dopamine gets released. When you actually see that person, so you sit on that VIP bus or STC bus, and then you get to Kumasi and you see that person, then your reward system, it just goes into overdrive. You get a flood of dopamine into your system, and then your heart can actually flutter. What a lot of people would describe as the butterflies. Right. You feel that, as if your tummy is churning.
Yeah.
Something is moving in there. So that is exactly what happened. It's a brain phenomenon with a release of dopamine, and simply thinking about the object of your affection can trigger it.
Okay.
So long distance relationships, yes, love can happen, or you can feel giddy and you can feel very euphoric when that happens.
Let me get on the phone line now. Hello?
Lexis, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
It's Chibuaka from Kenya.
All right, let's hear you.
Yes, my greetings to doctor. I want to ask doctor,
Hi.
if you're going to have sex, should you take water? Like I want to have sex with my wife or any lady. Within 5 minutes, should I take 2 glasses of water? Or should I take some fruit, or should I eat anything? Is that right or wrong?
This water business. Also, all musu. As I started, and I said midway on musu. Did I get it right? I don't know that. Kwame, you are the one who.
Me, I'm the one what? Who what?
The gym. Who? Yeah, physical activity. You didn't mention that exercise is a form of aerobic exercise.
Doc.
Kwame, what do you say to them about drinking water?
They should bath. They should use the water to bath. Use the water to
All right. It looks like this exercise is going to be vigorous. So you drink as much water as you can. Really, well, I always say that there's really no problem with water except people with specific medical conditions that will restrict water intake. Like if you feel that you have to drink water, please do. We all don't know how vigorous, how intense, or how well ventilated the room is going to be. So probably you're going to get all sweaty like you are in Kwame's gym. Kwame started the aerobics. So yeah, drink a lot of water.
And there'll be water for you. Okay. Hope says, is that a reason why some people get married and they begin to put on weight? and you hear people saying, look at that, the person has now moved from always taking pepper to soups. Okay. So,
right. So that's also part of it. When you are happy, when you're in love, you tend to engage in other happy behaviors. And one of the important things or enjoyable things people do is to eat. So come here, and you are enjoying. The thing that I like a lot.
Wow.
When the man is seated, the fufu has been dished.
That's right.
Then with a towel, mopping the beads of sweat on the forehead. Mira did you mommy? It used to be such a prominent feature in the
movies.
TV,
Yeah.
Drama. That it just kills me. But these days, I see the Me Too movement.
These days, it doesn't happen.
Your food is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They tell you that you get up. And
that's even if they'll cook it for you.
So yes, it's very common for people to put on weight when they get into loving relationships. If you have a woman who loves to cook, then the women love for you to eat their food, and then eating is one of those pleasurable experiences that we engage in. But you got to be careful you don't pile on too much weight.
Yeah. No, but we're talking about the euphoria and all the good sides of love, but
Right.
it turns sour sometimes. And we talked about how some people have to cope with the negative effects of love,
Right.
and all it comes with. I don't know whether there are certain coping mechanisms. And actually, the reverse is true as well, because I know people who say when they're heartbroken, they eat a little too much, and then they start putting on weight.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And all of those things.
They lock themselves up and then they just binge eat because they are depressed. So depression is exactly what can happen when this good thing that we are all used to is suddenly taken away. So Kwame, I want to share a few coping mechanisms, because maintaining a loving relationship is difficult. It's hard. It doesn't come easy. So I just want to talk about 4 broad coping mechanisms. And that's the approach that we use, the principles that underline the coping mechanism, so that you can keep this thing going. The first one is problem solving. So most of the time when there are challenges in there, you've got to try and identify the problem and then solve the problem. So identification or problem solving coping mechanism is very, very important. Most of us like to avoid problems, pretend they don't exist, and then it keeps repeating itself. The second thing, or the second principle we use, is the taking care of your emotions. All right. So how do you emotionally react to a problem? So sometimes, the problem is not within our means to solve. But what is your emotional response to that particular problem? So some get angry, some break things, some would cry, some become moody, and all of that. So sometimes the coping mechanism is to change the way or the kinds of emotions that you experience with that particular stressor. Then the third approach is also to try and bring some rationality to it. You reason it away. So here you are using your cognitive skills to be able to explain or accept what has happened. And sometimes people tend to religion and they'll say, oh, okay, God knows best. That's why A, B, C, or D is happening. So sometimes people can use that as a very important strategy to deal with the challenges that they have.
Okay.
So for people in loving relationships, then to keep the love going, to keep the addiction going, then these are some of the coping mechanisms that you use when the challenges come.
No, I'm totally grateful. Our very own Openyu Kojotre. This is our version of Openyu Kojotre.
Yes.
Only that he doesn't talk like him. Abemua. When you're in the suye and your friend daddy. And your dada. Oh, sorry, I would die. No, I die. I'm crying now, friend. Dada.
No,
And ne. Who said, "Okay, you might see a friend, daddy."
Hey, Kwame.
Now, who born who more than crack on crying and dazzy.
Hey.
And you're going to crack on crying and zazzy. Where are we from?
That did the empire.
Empire. Zazzy, ne, dazzy, ne, zazzy. Then you come to your feet, he cry, dog. Hey! Never free. Never free.
I said, they can come up with all sorts of things.
Noella, no, I'm with the phone. So, hey, Zazzy. Zimbabwe.
Swag.
Yo, yate. For those who don't want to get in touch with you, dog, how can they reach you?
Right. So we always continue the conversation on our social media platforms. Our Twitter handle is @medicalsgh. You can also follow us on Instagram, medicalsgh, and then our Facebook wall, Medicals Hospital. The phone number is 0501 477 340. 0501 477 340.
Our very own love doctor, Dr.Yaw Osafo.
Yes. Next week, the drive doctor will be back.
President of the Bald Men Association of Ghana.
Sharp with testosterone.